Alright, so we are going to be creating this really cool balancing rock project, kind of abstract in the background. We're going to be talking about light and shadow. So don't get overwhelmed. This is going to be very simple, very basic. We're going to be doing this in two parts. We're going to draw out the rocks. You can't really go wrong with those. And then next week we will be doing the light and shadow. Alright, so you will have a piece of paper that looks like this, and you are going to make sure it's hot dog, and we're going to start by mixing some gray. We just want some gray stones, and we're just going to draw the outlines of the stones before we start filling in. So you're just going to make you a really basic gray. You can't really go wrong. You just want to make you a nice little gray color here. You don't want it too dark, you don't want it too light, because we're going to be adding light and shadows. You're going to make a gray. Now you want to come down to the bottom, but you don't want to come down too far, because we're going to be adding a big shadow at the bottom, if you see there, so you need to leave room for that shadow. So we're going to come to, I don't know, maybe your tips of your fingers. You lay your hand, maybe the tips of your fingers, and you're going to start out. Now remember, we're balancing rocks, so we know our biggest heavy one has to go on the bottom. So you're just going to do a rock shape, and it does not have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, it's going to look better if it's not perfect. We're not going to fill them in yet. Now remember, this is going to be your largest rock. Okay, and now we're going to, we also don't want them perfectly on top of each other. I think I'm going to do like a flatter rock, because some of the rocks are kind of thinner and flat. So I think I'm going to put a flat one there. And I think I'm going to put one maybe over to the side here. And I think I'm going to put one on top of that. Remember, they're going to get a little smaller too as they get on up to the top. And we always want to do odd numbers in art, so you don't want an even number. So I would do 5 or 7 rocks. I think I'm going to do 5. Put a little one on top. Just like that. Perfect. All right, and then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to fill those babies in. Just fill them in. Take that really pretty gray color. If you need to mix up some more, you can mix up some more. And we're going to fill them in. You notice and it don't have to be the exact color. As a matter of fact, just some different values of gray. It's going to look good. What you really don't want on the ends of your rocks are those little scratchy ends. So you might want to take your brush and really smooth that out on the edges. You don't really want a lot of those scratchy ends. All right. And then we're going to do this little abstract background. So you will either have some blue paint, or you're going to have yellow and green to make it almost look like maybe some plants are behind the stones, maybe some water. It just depends on what class gets what colors. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to smooth out my rocks. I want them kind of smooth around the edges. Okay. So I'm doing this fairly quickly. You will do this, you'll have time to take your time. All right, so then we're going to do just this really cool dry brush background. And I'm actually going to dip in some yellow and some green. And I am going to almost just do a dry brush. Just like this, almost like, just kind of like I'm fanning out from the rocks. I don't want to get any of the green on the rocks. I'm just doing almost like a starburst effect. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly put this green, and you can take your time with this, although you want to be extremely random. You want some dark green, light green, and then you just kind of want to leave that space where those rocks are alone. Okay. time doing this kind of quickly. Try not to get any green or anything on your rocks. All right, and then this is all we're doing today is this. We have to let this dry because then we are going to come back and we are going to be adding our shadows with chalk, and we're going to be adding our reflections on the rock on the other side with chalk. And then I will have some white paint just to really give those really bright reflections on those rocks. And then you're going to create this illusion like there are rocks stacked on top of each other. All right, so this is what you should turn in today. And then make sure you get a wipe, clean your hands, and you can go to carpet and read a book until it's time to go. All right, have fun.